The Fault in Our Stars. Gentle Retelling. Part 1. When Stars Align, Meeting Augustus. 16-year-old Hazel, Grace Lancaster, spends her days reading books and watching reality TV shows with her loving parents. Due to her medical condition, she carries a small oxygen tank named Philip everywhere she goes. But this doesn't stop her from being witty, intelligent, and deeply thoughtful about life. Her mother encourages her to attend a weekly support group at St. Mark's Church, where young people gather in a circle to share their experiences and support each other. The support group meets in a cozy basement room decorated like the heart of a cross, led by an enthusiastic man named Patrick, who always reminds everyone they're literally sitting in the heart of Jesus. While Hazel finds the meetings somewhat repetitive, she attends faithfully to make her parents happy, as they worry about her spending too much time alone with her books. One Wednesday evening, everything changes when a new face appears in the circle. Augustus Waters, a tall 17-year-old with mesmerizing blue eyes and an easy smile, has come to support his friend Isaac, who is dealing with vision problems. Augustus has a habit of placing unlit cigarettes between his lips, which he explains as a metaphor. You put the killing thing right between your teeth, but you don't give it the power to do its killing. After the meeting, Augustus approaches Hazel with confidence and charm that seems to light up the room. He invites her to his house, and despite her usual caution around new people, something about his directness and humor draws her in. At his home, she meets his warm, welcoming parents who treat their son's past medical challenges as just another chapter in their family story, not the defining element. Augustus introduces Hazel to his passion for a video game called The Price of Dawn, where players navigate complex moral choices in wartime scenarios. As they play, they discuss deep philosophical questions about life, meaning, and what it means to make a difference in the world. Augustus admits his greatest fear isn't death itself, but being forgotten, leaving no meaningful mark on the world. Hazel shares her most treasured possession, a novel called An Imperial Affliction by the reclusive author Peter Van Houten. The book tells the story of Anna, a young narrator dealing with cancer, and it's the only book Hazel has found that honestly captures her experience without false sentimentality or unrealistic hope. The novel ends abruptly mid-sentence, leaving readers wondering what happens to Anna's mother, her hamster Sisyphus, and other characters. This book, Hazel explains, gets what it's really like. It doesn't lie about anything. She spent years wondering about the unfinished storylines, particularly what happens to Anna's mother after the story ends. Augustus promises to read the book, while Hazel agrees to read his favorite novel, The Counterinsurgents. Their connection is immediate and profound. Augustus treats Hazel not as someone fragile or pitiable, but as an intellectual equal worthy of deep conversation and genuine friendship. They discuss literature, philosophy, and their shared understanding of living with uncertainty about the future. Hazel finds herself drawn to Augustus's optimism and his belief that their lives can have profound meaning regardless of their circumstances. As they spend more time together, Hazel discovers that Augustus sees the world as a place full of possibilities rather than limitations. He believes that the connections we make with others, the love we share, and the memories we create are what give life its true meaning. This perspective begins to challenge Hazel's more cautious approach to relationships and her tendency to keep people at a distance. Their friendship blossoms through long conversations about books, shared jokes, and comfortable silences. Augustus's confidence and refusal to treat Hazel as fragile refreshes her spirit. For the first time in years, she begins to imagine what it might be like to open her heart fully to another person, despite the risks and uncertainties that come with deep emotional connections. Part 2. Dreams Take Flight. The Amsterdam Adventure. Augustus surprises Hazel with incredible news. He has managed to contact Peter Van Houten through the author's assistant, and Van Houten has agreed to meet with them in Amsterdam to answer Hazel's burning questions about an imperial affliction. The catch is that they would need to travel to the Netherlands, which seems impossible given Hazel's medical needs and her family's financial situation. However, Augustus reveals that he has been saving a special wish granted by the genies, a foundation that helps young people facing medical challenges fulfill their dreams. He wants to use this precious opportunity to take Hazel to Amsterdam, showing his generous spirit and deep care for her happiness. The gesture overwhelms Hazel with its thoughtfulness and grandeur. The prospect of meeting Van Houten and finally getting answers to questions that have occupied her thoughts for years fills Hazel with excitement mixed with nervous anticipation. She must work with her medical team to prove she's healthy enough for international travel. Dr. Maria, her kind oncologist, reviews Hazel's recent test results and determines that while she needs to be careful and bring extra medical supplies, the trip is feasible. Hazel's parents initially worry about her being so far from her familiar medical support system, but they recognize how much this opportunity means to their daughter. Her father, in particular, supports the adventure, understanding that experiences like this are what make life worth living. After careful planning and medical preparation, they give their blessing for the trip. As departure day approaches, Hazel and Augustus's friendship deepens into something more profound. They support their friend Isaac through a difficult time when his girlfriend, Monica, breaks up with him just before his eye surgery. The three friends share quiet moments of understanding and solidarity, showing how their bonds strengthen through both joy and challenges. Augustus and Hazel spend an evening helping Isaac process his heartbreak, and in a moment of cathartic rebellion, they help him throw eggs at Monica's car. While mischievous, the act brings them closer together and helps Isaac release his anger in a harmless way. These moments of friendship and loyalty show how they support each other through life's difficulties. The night before their departure, the three friends hold a pre-funeral for Isaac, a unique ceremony where he can hear the eulogies his friends would give, celebrating his life while he's present to enjoy them. Isaac speaks about Augustus's unwavering loyalty and humor, while Augustus praises Isaac's strength and capacity for friendship. The ceremony is both touching and uplifting, focusing on celebration rather than sorrow. Van Houten's assistant, Lidwij, helps coordinate their Amsterdam adventure with enthusiasm and kindness. She builds up their anticipation about meeting the brilliant but eccentric author, describing him as someone who will appreciate meeting such thoughtful readers of his work. Hazel spends hours preparing thoughtful questions, not just about the book's ending, but about writing and the creative process. The trip to Amsterdam represents many firsts for Hazel. Her first international travel, her first extended time away from her parents, and her first real romantic adventure. Augustus plans every detail with care, from their comfortable hotel to restaurant reservations, wanting to create beautiful memories for both of them. During their final evening before departure, Hazel allows herself to fully embrace her feelings for Augustus. She realizes that her fear of causing others pain has been holding her back from experiencing one of life's greatest joys: deep, mutual love. Augustus, with his characteristic confidence and sincerity, shows her that love is worth the risks it brings. Their relationship represents a perfect balance of intellectual connection, emotional intimacy, and shared humor. They challenge each other's thinking while providing comfort and understanding. As they prepare for Amsterdam, both feel that they're embarking on more than just a physical journey. They're stepping into a new chapter of their lives together. Part 3. Amsterdam Magic and Unexpected Discoveries. Hazel and Augustus arrive in Amsterdam filled with wonder and excitement. The city enchants them immediately with its picturesque canals, charming bridges, historic architecture, and relaxed atmosphere that feels like stepping into a fairy tale. Everywhere they look, there are beautiful scenes, cyclists gliding past flower markets, cozy cafes with outdoor seating, and tree-lined streets that seem designed for romantic strolls. Their first major adventure is an elegant dinner at Orange, one of Amsterdam's finest restaurants, courtesy of the Genie's Foundation. The staff treats them like honored guests, creating a magical evening with multiple courses of beautifully presented food, sparkling cider served in champagne flutes, an impeccable service that makes them feel sophisticated and special. During their leisurely dinner, they engage in one of their favorite philosophical discussions about the nature of infinity. Hazel argues that some infinities can be larger than others, using this mathematical concept as a metaphor for their relationship. They arrive at his Amsterdam apartment with nervous excitement, Hazel carrying pages of carefully prepared questions about an imperial affliction and its enigmatic ending. However, their meeting takes an unexpected turn when they discover that Van Houten is not the wise, understanding author they had imagined. Instead of providing the answers Hazel seeks, Van Houten proves to be dismissive and unhelpful, showing little interest in discussing his work or connecting with his readers. The meeting becomes uncomfortable, and Lidwai, his assistant, is clearly embarrassed by his behavior toward two young people who have traveled so far to meet him. Rather than dwelling on this disappointment, Lidwai quickly pivots to salvage their Amsterdam experience. She suggests they visit the Anne Frank house, one of the city's most meaningful historical sites. Initially hesitant, Hazel agrees to go, and the visit becomes unexpectedly moving and significant for both of them. At the Anne Frank house, they climb the steep, narrow stairs to the secret annex where Anne and her family lived in hiding. The physical challenge is difficult for Hazel with her breathing difficulties, but Augustus encourages her gently, and she perseveres. When they reach Anne's small room and see her collection of movie star photos still decorating the walls, Hazel is deeply moved by this evidence of a young person's dreams and hopes. In a moment of spontaneous joy and love, Augustus kisses Hazel in Anne's room. The other visitors, moved by the sweetness of young love in such a historically significant place, spontaneously applaud. This beautiful moment transforms their disappointing morning into something magical, showing how love can create meaning and beauty even in unexpected circumstances. The kiss represents a breakthrough for Hazel, who has been cautious about fully opening her heart. Surrounded by the history of a young person who faced enormous challenges with courage and hope, Hazel realizes that love is worth embracing, even when the future is uncertain. The moment becomes one of pure joy and connection. That evening, they return to their hotel with a new intimacy and closeness. They spend time talking about their feelings, their hopes, and their deep connection. Their relationship reaches a new level of emotional and physical intimacy, handled with sensitivity and focusing on the trust, tenderness, and love they share. Their Amsterdam adventure becomes a perfect example of how life can surprise us. Despite the disappointment with Van Houten, they create beautiful memories together. The elegant dinner, the romantic walks along the canals, the meaningful visit to the Anne Frank house, and their deepening love for each other. The city provides a magical backdrop for their growing relationship. However, their perfect trip takes a concerning turn when Augustus experiences some health issues during their last night. He tries to minimize his symptoms, not wanting to worry Hazel or spoil their beautiful time together. But she notices that something isn't quite right. This moment of concern foreshadows challenges ahead, while emphasizing how much they care for each other's well-being. Part 4. Facing changes with love and courage. Upon returning from Amsterdam, Augustus reveals that he has received some concerning medical news. His recent scans have shown some changes that require immediate attention and treatment. This news is difficult for both of them to process, as it means their roles are shifting. Augustus will now need more medical support while Hazel becomes his primary emotional support. The revelation is challenging for Hazel, who had grown accustomed to being the one with more serious health concerns. Now she must learn to be the strong, supportive partner, helping Augustus navigate his new medical reality. This role reversal teaches both of them about the different aspects of love, not just the joy and romance, but also the courage required to support someone through difficult times. Augustus approaches his new treatment with his characteristic determination and humor, but Hazel can see the worry beneath his brave facade. He becomes more focused on creating meaningful experiences and leaving positive impacts on the people he loves. His fear isn't about the treatment itself, but about not having enough time to accomplish everything he wants to do. During this period, their friend Isaac provides wonderful support and perspective. Having adapted well to his vision loss, Isaac shows them both that people can face major life changes with resilience and grace. He's learned to navigate the world in new ways and has developed a deeper appreciation for friendship, touch, and non-visual experiences. His positive example helps both Hazel and Augustus maintain hope and focus on what's possible rather than what's lost. Hazel learns to provide emotional support in ways she never had to before. She discovers that loving someone through illness requires patience, creativity, and the ability to find joy in small moments. She and Augustus develop new routines and traditions that accommodate his changing needs while preserving the intellectual and emotional connection that brought them together. Augustus becomes more reflective during this time, spending hours writing in journals and working on creative projects. He's determined to leave behind meaningful work, writing stories, letters, and observations about life that he hopes will outlast his physical presence. His creative work becomes a way for him to process his experiences and create something beautiful from difficult circumstances. Their relationship deepens in new ways as they face this challenge together. They have honest conversations about their fears, hopes, and dreams. Augustus shares his worries about being remembered, while Hazel reassures him that the impact he's had on her life and the lives of others is already permanent and meaningful. They continue to support Isaac, who has become an important source of stability and humor for both of them. The three friends spend time together playing video games adapted for Isaac's vision loss, listening to music, and having long conversations about books, movies, and their shared experiences. These friendships provide a foundation of normalcy and joy even during uncertain times. Hazel's parents provide incredible support during this period, opening their home and hearts to Augustus as if he were their own son. They help coordinate medical appointments, provide meals, and offer emotional support to both young people. Their love and practical help demonstrate how families can expand to embrace the people their children love. Augustus's parents, in turn, welcome Hazel as a daughter, appreciating how much joy and love she brings to their son's life. The two families work together to create a supportive network that allows Hazel and Augustus to focus on their relationship and Augustus's treatment without worrying about practical details. Despite the medical challenges, Hazel and Augustus continue to find ways to celebrate their love and create happy memories. They have movie nights, visit bookstores, attend concerts when Augustus feels well enough, and spend quiet evenings reading together. These simple pleasures become more precious as they learn to appreciate each moment they have together. Their love story during this period becomes about more than romance. It's about partnership, loyalty, and the courage to stay committed to each other through difficult circumstances. They learn that true love isn't just about the exciting, passionate moments, but also about the quiet, steady support that sustains people through challenges. Part 5. Legacy of Love and Meaningful Connections. As Augustus's treatment continues, he becomes increasingly focused on creating meaningful experiences and lasting connections with the people he loves. He organizes his own pre-funeral, wanting to hear directly from friends and family about the impact he's had on their lives. This celebration of life while he can participate becomes a beautiful, uplifting ceremony that focuses on gratitude and love rather than sadness. The pre-funeral takes place in the same church basement where Hazel and Augustus first met, bringing their story full circle. Isaac speaks beautifully about Augustus's loyalty, humor, and capacity for friendship. He describes how Augustus helped him through his vision loss, particularly during the difficult night when they helped him process his breakup. Isaac's words focus on Augustus's kindness and his ability to make people feel valued and understood. Hazel's speech is deeply personal and moving. She talks about their love story, describing it as brief but infinite, referencing their philosophical discussions about mathematics and meaning. She tells Augustus how he changed her understanding of what it means to be alive, how he taught her that love is worth the risks it brings, and how their connection has made her a braver, more open person. The ceremony includes other friends and family members, sharing stories and memories that highlight Augustus's positive impact on their lives. Rather than being somber, the event becomes a celebration of connection, love, and the meaningful relationships that make life worthwhile. Augustus is visibly moved by hearing how much he means to the people around him. During his final weeks, Augustus continues working on creative projects, particularly a special letter he's writing. He becomes secretive about this project, telling Hazel only that he's working on something important for her. This mystery gives Hazel something to focus on, and creates anticipation about what Augustus might be preparing as a final gift. Their time together during this period is precious and intentional. They have deep conversations about their favorite memories, their philosophical discussions, and their shared love of literature. Augustus continues to challenge Hazel intellectually, while also showing her tremendous tenderness and care. Their love remains vibrant and meaningful even as circumstances change. Isaac continues to be a source of strength and normalcy for both of them. His friendship demonstrates the importance of loyalty and shows how people can thrive even after major life changes. Hazel's relationship with her parents grows stronger during this time as well. She gains a deeper appreciation for their love and sacrifice, understanding more fully how much courage it takes to love someone facing serious health challenges. Her mother and father provide unwavering support while also encouraging Hazel to live fully and embrace her relationship with Augustus. Augustus spends time with his own parents, creating special memories and expressing his gratitude for their love and support. His family demonstrates grace and strength, focusing on making Augustus's remaining time as comfortable and meaningful as possible, while also supporting his relationship with Hazel. As Augustus's condition changes, he arranges for his special letter project to be sent to someone who can ensure Hazel receives it after he's gone. This final act of love and thoughtfulness represents his desire to continue caring for Hazel even when he can no longer be physically present. The letter becomes his way of providing her with comfort and guidance for the future. Augustus passes away peacefully, surrounded by love, and having accomplished his goal of creating meaningful connections and lasting impact. His death is handled gently, focusing on the peace and completion he found rather than the sadness of loss. His final days are marked by love, gratitude, and the knowledge that his life mattered deeply to many people. The immediate aftermath of Augustus's death shows how the love and support network they built together continues to function. Hazel's parents, Isaac, Augustus's family, and other friends rally around each other, providing comfort and sharing memories that celebrate Augustus's life and the joy he brought to others. Part 6. Continuing the story, Love's Lasting Legacy. After Augustus's peaceful passing, Hazel begins the difficult but important process of learning to carry her love for him into the future. While grieving is natural and necessary, she's supported by the strong network of family and friends that she and Augustus built together. Their love story doesn't end with his death. Instead, it continues in new ways. Hazel's parents provide gentle, understanding support as she processes her emotions. They encourage her to take time to grieve while also gently helping her stay connected to life and the future. Her mother, who had grown to love Augustus like a son, shares in the grief while also helping Hazel remember the joy and beauty of their relationship. Isaac becomes an even more important friend during this time. Having experienced his own significant losses and adaptations, he understands both grief and resilience. He and Hazel spend time together sharing memories of Augustus, supporting each other, and gradually learning to find moments of happiness again. Their friendship demonstrates how shared love for someone can create lasting bonds. During this period, Hazel becomes curious about the special letter project Augustus had been working on before his death. She remembers his secretive work on something important for her, and begins to wonder if he might have written to Peter van Houten, the author who had been so unhelpful during their Amsterdam trip. This possibility gives her a focus for her energy and a way to feel connected to Augustus. Hazel contacts Leidwij, van Houten's kind assistant, asking about any correspondence from Augustus. Leidwij is sympathetic and helpful, understanding how important this connection might be for Hazel's healing process. She confirms that Augustus did indeed write to Van Houten and arranges for Hazel to receive the letter, which Van Houten had been too ashamed to send after his rude behavior in Amsterdam. When Hazel finally receives Augustus's letter, it proves to be a beautiful, thoughtful gift that addresses many of her deepest concerns and questions. Written during his final weeks, the letter shows Augustus's deep understanding of Hazel's personality, her fears, and her need for meaning and connection. It represents his final act of love and care for her. In the letter, Augustus addresses Hazel's long-held belief that she was a grenade who would inevitably cause pain to people who loved her. He writes eloquently about how loving someone, even someone you might lose, is always worthwhile, because the joy and meaning it brings far outweigh the eventual pain. He tells her that she was never a burden or a source of worry, but rather a gift that made his life infinitely richer. Augustus also writes about how Hazel changed his understanding of heroism and meaning. Through loving her, he learned that the quiet daily acts of love and care are themselves heroic and significant. He no longer feels the need to accomplish something grand and public to matter. Instead, he understands that being loved and loving others is enough to make a life meaningful and complete. The letter also addresses Hazel's original questions about an imperial affliction in a beautiful metaphorical way. Augustus suggests that the book's abrupt ending is actually perfect because it mirrors real life. We don't always get complete answers or neat conclusions, but we get moments of beauty, love, and connection that make the uncertainty bearable and worthwhile. Most importantly, Augustus encourages Hazel to continue writing her own story. He reminds her that their love story was complete and beautiful, even though it was brief, and that she has the strength and wisdom to create more meaning and connection in whatever time she has ahead. He gives her permission to be happy, to love again, and to honor their relationship by continuing to live fully. Reading Augustus's letter helps Hazel begin to process her grief in a more positive way. She realizes that their love story was not a tragedy but a beautiful, complete experience that she can carry forward as a source of strength and joy. The letter gives her a new perspective on loss, love, and the meaning of their time together. In the story's gentle conclusion, Hazel begins to emerge from the deepest part of her grief. She doesn't get over Augustus's death. That's not how love works. But she learns to carry her love for him and her sadness about his absence as part of who she is. She starts to reconnect with family, friends, and her own interests and future plans. Hazel's final reflections focus on gratitude rather than regret. She's grateful for the time she had with Augustus, for the love they shared, and for the ways he changed her understanding of courage, connection, and meaning. She recognizes that their story was not defined by its ending, but by its depth, authenticity, and the lasting impact it had on both their lives. Her simple "okay" at the end represents her acceptance of both the pain and the beauty of love, and her readiness to continue her own story with courage, openness, and hope. Love this summary? Hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell for more book wisdom. Let me know what book to cover next in the comments.